Hello everyone, welcome to Hearthstone Meta Hype. I am eCore100 with my friend Venga Dragon. How's it going, Venga?
I'm getting excited to talk about this Mercenaries that we're getting into, and just wanted to let everybody know, thank you so much for coming over to my channel and subscribing, because we're close to getting those card packs out to you. The giveaway, that's 45 card packs on my channel, so make sure you subscribe, and also make sure you subscribe to eCore as well.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for the shout out for me, and yeah, go subscribe to him. He wants to do a giveaway, and it's really close. So I want to talk about Mercenaries because I haven't actually done like a full video on Mercenaries yet, and I feel like my discussion video with you is the perfect time to actually do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically, for those of you who don't know, Mercenaries is the new game mode coming out for Hearthstone, where it's going to be a roguelite. It's not like Slay the Spire, but that is the game that people compared it to at the beginning, where as you progress through this dungeon or this run, you will slowly be getting stronger and stronger. Your guys will level up, they will get equipment, or their abilities or stats will get improved, and then you'll fight the final boss, and then things for the most part will get reset back down, but your heroes will remain leveled up. So the levels are permanent, but everything else, all the extra like stat bonuses they get throughout, will be dropped. And I think that it is a cool concept. I was really looking forward to it. It looks a little bit disappointing, but only a little bit, and even then it actually looks interesting in a new way, because I thought it was going to be you slowly build a deck like, you know, the old monster runs back in the day, and kind of how Duels is, but it wouldn't be like a pre-built thing at the beginning. But even though I'm disappointed that it's not that doesn't mean the new thing isn't cool. And I think it actually looks interesting. They have addressed some of the issues that people were having right at the beginning. And so yeah, I want to hear your thoughts on it so far, Venga. What do you think?
Game is so beautiful. Like, Hearthstone in general is beautiful, but it's just like looking at the graphics and what you see from it, it's so pretty. I have to say that. I know it's goofy, but the game is just beautiful, and it has like the village, and you can go into different parts, like there's a map and stuff, so it looks like it's kind of one of those things that you probably could get pretty addicted to. I don't know, there'll be a leaderboard and stuff, so there's goals and everything, and I think people do enjoy that. That's kind of just my first thoughts on it, because I haven't really seen a lot on it.
That's true.
And it looks good, you know, just kind of cool that way.
Yeah, they haven't really shown too much on it, which is one of the things that I am a little bit disappointed on. They have had a couple of streamers have some early gameplay release where they get to do like one or two of the runs. They had a forum where they talked about some of the questions people were mainly having. So they've put out more information, but at least from the initial launch, it had almost nothing, which is really weird. But I am still excited about it, and I'm going to get into why, because there are some things that they talked about, and I watched other streamers do. So I want to talk about that, but yeah, what were you going to say?
No, I was just going to say, like, I like the idea of that you have the party, and then you can select like bounties and things, and you can, you know, it has an element of like, sort of like you said, it's not really deck building, but there's like just progression. The idea of just continually hitting goals and things, it kind of satisfies that instant gratification thing that we all have. So in that aspect, it could be pretty good. And you know, there's just some interesting nuances. It looks like an entirely new game.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I was also disappointed about. I actually totally forgot about that until you brought it up right now. What if they made a game like this but didn't just use the Hearthstone UI? Like, it feels like a whole different game, like you said, so why not make it a different game? Obviously, they didn't do it because it's a lot easier for them to just work with the already existing Hearthstone UI, but like, imagine how much cooler this would have been if there were like 3D models to some of the cards, and the combats looked more like complex than just somebody shooting the same fireball animation at someone, or someone using an ability and it's just the blizzard animation, or you just use something and it's like, okay, well, it's the like knife juggler animation, and they'll like throw a couple of knives at the opponents. What if they did something super cool and they made it like an actual new game? And I had the same idea or same thought about Battlegrounds, because Battlegrounds looks super cool, but like when it actually comes to the combats, it just feels like it's missing a little something. Like when a giant minion smashes into another giant minion and the whole board shakes. Like that's cool, but I feel like it would be cooler if it was like a 3D model of a guy who has giant stats and he winds up and smashes someone. And it's like a whole, I don't know, it just feels like the animations are lackluster for what it could have been.
I see what you're saying, but the thing is the game. I always felt that Hearthstone is just very pretty to look at, and I mean, I know that you could make a case that like something different and everything, but the graphics in Hearthstone themselves have changed a little bit. The animations are kind of different, with the introduction of the platinum cards and things that they have. It does look a little different. I think it's just evolving a little bit, but I think because they want to sell the game, they've kind of kept it to keeping it close to the way that Hearthstone looks because in a sense, I guess they're going with like don't fix what's not broken and expand on what they have. So I think all in all, I think you'll get used to it. But yeah, I could see what you're saying. I think it's could be lackluster, but not too bad. I mean, it's still there's always room for improvement. So
Yeah, I guess I see your point. It's a pretty, like, I'm not saying that Hearthstone isn't a pretty game, though. Like, I do think Hearthstone is a really nice game visually. I think it's the best online card game, especially visually. I think Legends of Runeterra tried to match something like it, but really didn't. Nothing will really capture a digital card game like Hearthstone did. And I think that's why it was as successful as it was. I'm saying was past tense. It still is successful, but why back when it first came out, it, like, blew up because it did it so well. I don't know. I just would like to see something different. But I want to move on to a big issue people were having right at the beginning and thinking it was going to be pay to win. And I just want to address that because I read some things that the developers were talking about it. And it's supposed to be less of a paywall, theoretically, than Hearthstone. They said that you can get everything free to play, and I know that they've said this kind of stuff before, but I actually kind of believe them with this one because the runs you can theoretically play multiple times to get rewards. So it'll be, and at the end of every run, you will be getting rewards. So it's not like, okay, you have to level up in, the battle pass, or you need to get enough EXP at the end of the battle pass to get like a small little amount of 50 gold to maybe buy half of a pack. At the end of every run, you'll be getting a decent amount of rewards in addition to being able to buy packs or getting stuff from the quest system for this game, which is going to be the campfire, and there's going to be a board. It's basically just the exact same quest system. It just has a different visual look, which is kind of neat. But I think that because of that and the dynamic matchmaking system, which I'll get into in a second, I think that it's gonna be better, at least better than Hearthstone in terms of paywall. I don't think it'll be good as Battlegrounds because Battlegrounds is amazing. Like you pay $10 or like 2,000 or 3,000 gold and you get all of the perks, and other than that it's entirely free to play. I think Battlegrounds was a knockout of the park and makes them a ton of money because they focused on skins, and I really hope that's kind of the direction they go with Mercenaries. Make it really easy to get the cards, and then have some skins come out that are only acquirable through, maybe packs, which is actually one of the main things you get from packs, by the way. That is one of the main things. It's not just equipment and levels, it is also new skins, which is what I wanted them to do in the first place. Or just let them buy skins directly, like, oh, I really want this Uther skin, so I'm going to spend, like $5 and get this really cool looking thing. But overall, I think from a pay standpoint, it looks better than I initially thought it was going to be. Not perfect, but perfect is basically just like totally free to play, which won't make Blizzard any money, so obviously they got to make money somewhere. But I think that it's going to be better than Hearthstone, and worse than Battlegrounds, so it's going to be somewhere in the middle, which I think is an okay balance.
Well, there's other things that come into play here too. Is that you're right. They probably will be closer to their word that it's not going to be pay to win. But I have a feeling that you're going to see some differences come up in Battlegrounds and start to, again, they did introduce that you had to pay for Battlegrounds. It did start off where Battlegrounds was free to play completely, and like it remained that way for quite a while, for like 6 months or whatever. But I think that this will be the same. It'll kind of like it'll creep up. They'll also be tying this into the like other Blizzard games like World of Warcraft. I know that if you have a World of Warcraft subscription, you'll be able to get mercenary packs and stuff like that. So
that's fair. I don't think that's as big of an issue though. That's like just cross promoting their games, which I have no problem with.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The thing is that they're gonna try to make money off of it some way, but I think that additionally they'll introduce things on other games to get people playing.
I think that free to play, or the free to play model in general, is something that's hard to pull off correctly, and a lot of the time what happens is it just slowly creeps up and becomes more expensive in ways that people don't really like. But for the most part, I think that if done correctly, free to play can make even more money than like actually paid games, if that makes sense. Because like Hearthstone is a free to play game, and I don't think they do it correctly, but they probably make a lot of money with, optional, in quotation, purchases to buy packs. And I don't necessarily think that that's the correct way to do it. Like I said, I think they could make more money if they made packs cheaper and had more, or at least had like some cheaper options to buy packs, so whales could buy their big bundles, but other people could buy smaller bundles, so they wouldn't feel as like alienated because they're not willing to pay a ton of money. But the point is, I don't think it's going to be as pay to win as previously thought, which is great. And then the last thing I want to talk about is the matchmaking, because I don't want to drag on about the pay to win, because this is all speculation. The last thing is the dynamic matchmaking of this game.
Right.
Which is interesting to me because they said that it's going to be based off of your rank, but they will also take into consideration like the average level of your team. And that means that you could get to a high rank similar to the ranks of people who spent a ton of money on the game without spending money on the game, because you'll play against other more free-to-play people who, I don't know why I put free-to-play in quotes. You could actually just be a free-to-play player playing against another free-to-play player at a high rank. And it's not going to be like two separate matchmaking systems, but within that one matchmaking system, it will kind of like oil and water or whatever it is. It's separate just on its own and become not like two different matchmaking, because after you get to a certain rank, I'm assuming that at a certain rank, if you can get to a high rank, you will start playing against people who are higher level than you. But at least in the beginning especially, you can play against people who are around your level, so you won't just get absolutely destroyed. And only once you get to like near the top will it potentially become an issue, which I think is really interesting. I mean, they could have maybe just gone with two different matchmakings, but I don't know how they really would have done that. Maybe some people would have taken one more seriously than the other. So the fact that they made this matchmaking system, and I don't know how, because again, this is all speculation, I don't know how good it's actually going to be, but if it is as good as I'm thinking and as they described, then I think that is another thing that will help push towards free to play, because you don't need to spend money to compete. You will play against people who are your level, who didn't spend money if you didn't spend money, and you'll be able to climb and have a good time up until maybe the absolute max. Yeah. So I'm excited for it. I'm excited for a lot of things in Mercenaries.
They changed the matchmaking system, and at the beginning you could see it was all over the place. Like you'd be legend and you'd be playing against people who were like rank 7 and stuff like that, like literally, like, or you'd be rank 10 playing against a legend player. So it was like all over the place. And
yeah, I'm just excited to see what happens. I have actually been starting to like Hearthstone Standard more and more ever since the patches came out. So I mean, it's not like I'm just waiting to jump ship and go on to this new game mode. I'm actually also having fun with Battlegrounds. So I'm going to play Mercenaries, just try to have a good time. If people like the content, I'll probably keep playing it. But yeah, I'm fairly excited for this game. And I'm not just saying that, like I said, because I'm disappointed in their other games. It just, after hearing a lot of the stuff that they talked about, I'm actually excited to play this game because I've always loved roguelites, and I always just experiment and play other ones, play new ones for like a week or two. They usually don't live up to my hype in my head, but they're always fun, and I think that this could be maybe better than a lot of the other ones if done correctly. So I'm really excited. And do you have any final thoughts?
I'm laughing because I know how I am. I probably will barely touch this game.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna, and you know, you can hate me as all you want, everybody, but I'll just probably stick to standard and do whatever. Maybe I would probably stream an entire different game other than just get on this. I've invested a lot into the standard mode, and I'll just continue doing that. I'm not saying I won't try it, or I don't think it's going to be good or whatever. Even if I think it's good, I probably won't even play it. That's just me.
That's fair. Yeah. But yeah, I hope you guys are excited for it. Well, yeah, anyway, I'm really excited to jump over to your segment where we're going to talk about 4 sleeper cards that you guys will probably have fun with in the meta, especially with the nerfs where people are experimenting a little bit. These are cards that you should probably get ahead of the game on.